Injil in Islam refers to the gospel revealed to Jesus or Isa and is considered one of the 4 holy books in Islam alongside with Torah or Tawrat, Psalms or Zabur and the Quran. Okay, this comment is actually from this person here. I think this is the first time I noticed a comment under my video by this person, so I'm just covering this and sharing with you what he said. Many of these I have no problem with, but I'm interested to see what others think about what he said. Alright, so the Injil isn't necessarily a written passage of verses, but it is more or less the teaching and the saying of Jesus that were influenced by the Father. Alright, I'm not sure whether I would put it that way specifically, because the Quran is explicit that Injil is revealed and is given by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to Jesus, right? So yeah, of course, the specific of how it is being revealed is not specified in the Quran, but it is explicit in the sense that it is Injil, just like Tawrat, is what is given to Jesus or Moses for the case of Tawrat, right? So because when they say the teaching and sayings of Jesus that were influenced, so when you say by influenced, it does not necessarily mean a revelation per se, right? That's how I understand those wording, right? When we say there are teachings, because he said teaching and sayings, right? So obviously for a prophet, what he says is influenced by what God revealed to them, the teaching from God revealed to them. So whatever he says is influenced by that, but not all that he says is exactly that revelation itself. So that's how I see this paragraph. I wouldn't put it in that way. Anyway, the original Injil is believed by many Muslims to no longer exist. It is thought to have been altered and changed throughout history, and some believe it was lost or deliberately destroyed over time. Therefore, there is no definitive location for the original Injil. Right. Me personally, I'm not talking on behalf of anyone, including any Muslim, but me personally, I accept to the extent that what Quran explicitly say that Injil is a revelation from Allah to Jesus, right? So I would accept that Jesus would teach Injil to the people, right? To the people. Now, whether that exists in whatever format, whether it's written down, whether it's originally in written format, whatever format that is, I do not know. I do not claim to know. I do not even speculate. Now, how it is then being passed down, the teaching, right? So if we take into consideration that there might be someone who really followed what Jesus actually teach back then, so obviously the teachings would be passed down, and hence if any portion of those still exists today in a different format. For example, some people pass down stories, and that stories include or embedded in that story the actual quote from Injil, for example, right? I don't have any problem if someone would want to argue or suggest that that may be the case. So for example, can some of part of the Injil that revealed from Allah to Jesus, to Isa, still embedded somewhere in the current Bible that you find that Christian use, right? Yeah, I do not reject the possibility of that. So that's number one. But number two, my position is always we are not even commanded to seek and find the Tawrat and Injil, right? There's no command in the Quran for any Muslim to find those books to be able to read it, because we have the final revelation. It is complete instruction, complete guidance. That is what we need, and it's, and the life of course, combined with the life of Prophet Muhammad SAW, which is guided by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, and hence the Sunnah, the Hadith. So those are complete. And Prophet Muhammad SAW also said that those who keep these two, Quran and the Sunnah, that is the guidance that we need. So there's no indication whatsoever for us to need to seek and find Tawrat and Injil. Hence, I do not find it. I do not even put any effort to find it, right? So that's the thing. Now, some Christians, because the issue comes when the Christian side is starting to argue that, you have to look at this Bible because the Quran says something, right? Whatever they argue. And when they want to argue that the Injil that Allah refers to in the Quran is the Gospels, the 4 Gospels specifically, then I would say that, okay, the definition of Injil based on the Quran is this. It is what is revealed by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala to Jesus. If you want me to even consider that 4 Gospels to be the possible Injil there, you have to, that 4 Gospel should at least claim to be that, right? It at least claim to be the revelation from Allah to Jesus. But all the 4 Gospels did not even claim that, right? So, there's not even discussion for me, right? So how it is changed, whatever, that's the discussion about whether the Bible have been changed, corrupted, etc. I don't even go into it, because just like I don't go into the Vedas or whatever book out there, the book of Scientology, because, for example, if the book of Scientology written by someone, and then throughout, whether it is preserved from that guy or it has been contaminated or it has been corrupted along the way until now, to me, I don't care, because even if the book of Mormon or book of Scientology, etc., is preserved from the original author, I don't even care about what the original author writes, right? So that's the thing. So yeah, to me, that extends to whatever that the 4 authors of Gospel have written as well. So I don't know what, right? So that's my position. Again, I do not say this on behalf of any other Muslim. I'm just saying for me personally. So if you want to comment towards me in the comment section, you should address my position, not any other Muslim's position. That might be different, right? The Gospels of the New Testament were primarily written in Greek. While the earliest manuscript of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are in Greek, some scholars suggest that part of Matthew's may have originally been composed in Hebrew or Aramaic. Overall, the consensus is that the canonical Gospels were composed in Greek. Yeah, so that's another additional point. But to begin with, the 4 Gospels did not even claim to be the Injil that the Quran is referring to, right? So, yeah, that's the comment by this guy here, and then my reaction and comments on what he wrote. If you want to add, or if you have anything to ask or to add, feel free to comment. Thank you for watching. See you next time.